Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake It's Me, and today is the Wednesday check-in. It is Wednesday, March 12th, 2025, and thanks for hanging with me. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to podcast.hellocupcakeitsme.com to check out the podcast that is updated every Thursday. And make sure that you head on over to hellocupcakeitsme.com to check out the blog. And make sure you follow me on all the different socials. And check out my book, Carpe Diem Scroto, 365 Daily Affirmations, found at www.hellocupcake... See what I did there? www.cdsthebook.com. So, how is everyone? I'm doing okay. Sorry for the late update today. Wednesdays are my off days. So, I don't have to get up early. I don't have to go to bed early. I can just do whatever the hell that I want on a Wednesday. But with that being said, I do have a therapy appointment at 3. And at the time of recording this, it is 12 p.m. Pacific time. So, yeah. Anywho, since I just brought up the whole therapy thing, we will talk about my therapy appointment that happened on Monday. So Monday's therapy appointment was really interesting and gave me some new insights. I was administered a 61 question test, scale 0 to 10, and it was really interesting, the results that came from that, and it kind of plays into the new diagnosis that I have been given, and is further evident of things that I have thought have been, wrong for a while. So today's therapy session is accelerated resolution therapy, or art therapy, or ART therapy. So I am going to be compiling a list of things that I want to work on and see if this modality of therapy actually works with a shopping list. Okay, I want to change this or that or whatever else. So some of the things that I have on my mental health shopping list is the disconnection between my mental image of myself and my physical image of myself, that kind of body dysmorphia, because my mental image of myself does not match my physical appearance. So that's something I want to look at. I want to also look at some of my developmental trauma regarding my parents and see if there's a way that I can fix how certain things affected me from that time period. I also want to see if there is a way that I can eliminate some of the guilt that I have in regards to my dad. I want to see if there are some way for me to eliminate the PTSD and the feeling of being punished, and like I have done something wrong when it comes to doing simple household chores, like just vacuuming the floor or washing the dishes or whatever else. Because chores were used as corporal punishment. And so, if you got in trouble for anything, it was like, go wash the dishes, or um, you you have to go like vacuum the floors and beat the rugs and do all this other stuff, or you're in trouble, so go clean your room. And it was never, I know nobody really ever wants to do that, but when it's forced on you and it's used as a form of punishment versus a form of maintenance, and this is what you need to do in order to keep yourself happy, or whatever. I think that's where the disconnect comes from, is the fact that it was used as corporal punishment. And because I feel like I have uh, a disconnect with that, like, process of seeing something and not having that be on my range of priorities. Like, just looking at my desk, it is very cluttered. There's a lot of crap. There's old envelopes and everything else on my desk, but it's not a priority for me to clean, organize, and straighten up my desk, because there's other things that I need to do, but those aren't a priority because there's other things that I need to do. And those priorities, on the grand scale of things, are like 0, where other things are a 10. So that executive function disconnect is one of the things I would love to work on. Also, I would like to work on my relationship with food. I've already asked my doctors to do an entire panel on me, because I don't feel like I create the hormone, and I'm pretty sure I don't create the hormone that tells you that you're full, because I can eat a tremendous amount of food and not be satisfied. Like, go if I go to a buffet, I can eat like 10 plates of food, and then by the time I get up to walk out to my car, I'm hungry again, like I've never eaten. And I can turn back around and eat an additional 5 plates of food, get back up, go to walk out the door, and still feel that hunger. So there's something there. But then there's times when I eat, like, say, a cheeseburger or pizza, and 3 slices of pizza or that one cheeseburger makes me feel completely full. So I want to see if there's any way that I can find a dissonance for that and try to, like, patchwork it or make that better. So, there's a couple of different things that I want to do. And they are really leaning heavy into the possibility of me having DID, which stands for dissociative identity disorder. In the past, it has been called multiple personality disorder and stuff like that. My Monday therapist has made that suggestion since day one, after we had talked several times, saying that she originally called it IFS, which stands for internal family structure, which is like a way of compartmentalizing um, different things that happen in your life. And so, you have the firefighter who goes out and he takes care of the immediate issues. Then you have the, like, caregiver who takes care of your emotional side, and then you have this and that and so on and so forth. And I always thought that was just how everyone dealt with things. And in speaking to my therapist, um, it had been suggested that because they have names and personalities, that it could be did, and that it also could be like a form of autism. Um, so she said, it's like it's a little bit of a spectrum, and you have a lot of overlapping things that are happening in your life, and some of them are trauma related, some of them are PTSD related, some of them are just um, internal structures that you created to process what was going on in life. So that's something that I got to try to figure out. And like, I've never been tested for autism because in the 80s and the 90s they really didn't have autism. It was there, but they didn't have the vocabulary or the understanding of what autism is. And so some of you may or may not know, but I was in special ed clear up until the 10th grade, where I overheard some teachers talking shit about me. And it was also during an IEP evaluation. And those of you who don't know what IEP is, that's an individual educational plan, which is structured for the needs of that student based on their academic abilities. And so when I was coming through school, dyslexia was one of the things that they were starting to understand as a modality of learning disabilities. And they were just starting to touch on dyscalculia, which is the transposing of numbers. And so when I tested out of the special needs program or whatever, special ed program, not special needs, I'm sorry. They were all shocked because I had never shown that level of aptitude in any of my testing. And I told them, I said, I have this ability to do so, but I'm bullied, I'm harassed, not only by the students, but by the faculty. And I don't feel heard, I don't feel seen, and I don't have incentive. They're like, getting an A on my report card or getting an F on my report card didn't mean a goddamn thing to me. The incentive for me to go to school was, one, to get out of my house because the environment that I was living in was toxic as fuck. Two, was to have those social interactions that I couldn't have in my day-to-day life outside of academia. Three, I had access to things at school that I would not have access to at home, such as meals. I was part of the free lunch, free breakfast, free lunch program. So I got to go to school and eat. I got to go to school and socialize with my friends. I got to go to school and access the computers, which is, one of the reasons that I'm so techie now and have a million different electronic devices. All of them are old and outdated, but they still suit my need and my purposes for what I need or want to use them for. Are they outdated to the point of no longer being able to upgrade? Some of them are, yeah. Like the computer that I'm sitting in front of right now, I have no ability to update this computer any further than what it already is. And the tablet, this tablet right here, it's a good tablet. It still works. It still functions, but I can't update the Android system that's on there. It's stuck. And so now the apps that I used to use on this, I can't use anymore because it's obsolete. Like I said, absolutely nothing wrong with this outside of the fact that it's obsolete by today's standards. And I don't have the technical know-how to go in and format and make this accept the new operating systems that are out there and do whatever I need to do to keep this tablet up and going. So it's very limited in what I use it for. A lot of times it's just for email or watching like Netflix or something like that on it, because that's really all I can do on it. Um, and like I said, it still works. I can get my Kindle books on it and things like that. So why throw it away? It's obsolete. It's a Samsung Galaxy Tab A or something like that. But it works. So why throw it away? I can still use it for some of the functions I need or want it for, but there's all that. So and then having access to the computers there at school meant that I was able to go on the internet, which during the 90s was a brand new thing. And I was there for when Yahoo first started up. I was there for when Google was brand new on the scene. I was there for when you couldn't get a Gmail account without an invitation. Like, I was there when the browser wars happened, when it was Internet Explorer versus Netscape, and our Netscape Explorer, and those were like really the only two internet browsers that you had outside of the built-in AOL internet browser. And so, I had access to those things that I wouldn't have access to anywhere else. I didn't give a fuck about the lessons. Like, I learn them and I understand them and whatever else, but I never applied myself in school because I didn't feel like I needed to. And I would purposely fail all year long from the beginning of the school year to December. And then from December, after Christmas winter break, so we'll say January. So from January to June, I would pull my grades back up. And why my teachers, why my assessors or whoever never saw this pattern of me doing that is way beyond me. I probably would have stayed in the special education program until I graduated high school, just because of what that resource meant to me. Because I would show up in class, I would get the assignments that I needed for that day, and then the second that the teachers started bullying me, or the other students were bullying me or whatever, I would just get up and go to that other classroom, be in a peaceful environment with teachers and faculty that I really liked and had a relationship and a rapport with, and I would be able to get one-on-one work, like one-on-one help with the work. And I had incentives that if I got done with all of my classwork soon, I could then go and utilize the computer. I could then go and do whatever I needed to or wanted to. And so my incentive was to go get the assignment from the teacher right after roll call, and then go into the special ed classroom thing, and then do my work in there. And so by me testing out of that meant that I took away a system of support that protected me from everything else that I was kind of running from. And it wasn't until the 10th grade that my attitude completely shifted from being a doormat where I wouldn't even meet your gaze and I wouldn't talk up, I wouldn't speak out about anything. I would just like let people sit there and yell and scream and do whatever to me. But it was 10th grade American history class that all of that changed. And the football jock, I think he was like quarterback or something like that. Anyways, he was just in my ear, just blah, 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 like telling me all kinds of horrible things. And I slammed my fist down on the table. I like stood up and I looked at him. I was like, you know what? Fuck you, you piece of shit. Like, who the fuck are you to talk to me the way you are? Like, you mean nothing to me in my life. You are nothing more than an insect in my world. And this is as good as you're ever going to have. Like, you are going to burn out in high school. You might have a good paying job for a little while, but you know, at the end of the day, you're going to go home and hate your wife, look at your life, and fucking hate everything there is about you, your life, and just realize that you have bottomed out, that your glory years are behind you. And, you know, I don't like that journey. Like, I like that journey for you. I don't like you talking to me the way that you are. And he's all, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? And I said, exactly, who do you think you're talking to? Like, I have put up with your bullshit from the 6th grade. We are now in the 10th grade. Shut the fuck up. No one gives a good goddamn about you or your bullshit and whatever little clique you got going on. Like, just shut the fuck up. Shut all the way the fuck up. And my teacher, he stopped and he was like watching all of this take place. And as soon as I sat back down, he went back to teaching. And the guy went to say something else. And the teacher turned around and he's like, get out of my classroom. He's like, get the fuck out of my classroom. Go to the principal's office. And then he looked at me and just very, very, very visibly gave me up and went back to teaching the lesson. And so it was like at that point when that little paradigm shift happened is when I started speaking out, started becoming more of an advocate for myself, becoming more vocal about what was going on in life, or at least what was going on in my life. And that started to cause problems because this whole time leading up to that, I was always the quiet, meek, like wallflower. And now people were seeing this whole new level of who I was on the inside that I never allowed out. And I really attribute just having that breakdown, clarity, like clarifying moment in that classroom as the defining of who I was, who I am, and who I later became to be. And I took that attitude or whatever you want to call it and tried to start applying that to my life in every aspect at home. If I didn't like what my parents were saying, I put them on the spot. Like, no, just because I'm your kid does not give you the right to treat me a certain way. And did that cause a lot of problems at home? Yeah. It caused a lot of problems with me and my dad. It caused a lot of problems with me and my biological mom. It caused a lot of problems with the adults in my life because, oh, Michael has always been a little whipping boy. We've always been able to tell Michael what to do, but now Michael has a voice of his own, has a mind of his own, and Michael's not doing it. So, I never got involved with drugs, like where I was actually taking them. I was involved with drugs in so much that I was sitting in meth labs, watching it get cooked, prepared, and like being in a room full of people, watching them like all do lines off of a mirror. And this dude who used to bully the shit out of me in grade school, being one of the people in this dank, dark basement, like licking the plate and like rubbing it on his gums and doing like fucking dirty, sketchy ass shit. And that like moment of realization for me, that I was like, yeah, remember all those times that you used to talk shit about me and bully me? Now look at you, you pathetic fucking tweaker. And that was like, oh, mwah, chef's kiss. So there's a lot of different things going on with my mental health that has led up to this point, with all the depression, the bipolar, and everything else that I want to work with. And that's part of that laundry list of things that I want to try to fix and work on also. So I'm hoping and I'm praying, because this therapist that I'm about ready to go see, total best friend vibes. Like the minute I walked in, I was comfortable. It was like, bestie, how are you doing? The whole 9 yards. And so, a lot of things that I want to look at, want to try to fix and see if there is more underlying issues, and if I do fall on the autism spectrum, because there are things that are very OCD, ADHD, and autistic related that are kind of kissing cousins. Like they overlap each other in such a way that, like, it could be this, it could be this, and it could be this, or it could be all of this. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is just trying to figure out, is it all of this, or is it specifically this and specifically this? Like a little column A, a little column B. So, yeah, that's kind of where things are right now, mental health wise. Physically, physical health wise, I'm doing a lot better. I've been taking my blood pressure medications, and with those, I have noticed a huge change in my blood pressure regulation. Um, if my heart rate gets up to 140 or higher, it doesn't take minutes for it to come back down. It's like within a minute, it comes back down into range. I do have a lot of the like Losartan problems. So I have the cough, I have the overproduction of mucus, I have the constant thirst, which also correlates to the diabetic thirst. The random stiffness and aches and pains in your joints, like my neck for the last couple of days has been really painful. The joint on my toe, like, so say this is your foot and this is your this is your big toe, that joint that like sticks out, that has been hurting so goddamn bad. And I went to my podiatrist yesterday, and he said that that's probably just from like wearing and the way that my shoes are starting to wear out and that I do need new shoes. And he suggested, getting another set of Hoka. I do have a brand new set of Skechers. I prefer the Hoka, but the Skechers were a gift from my mom. So I'm going to wear the Skechers for a while until I have enough money saved up to get a pair of Hoka. So yeah, and then hopefully I will have my new testing done along with my A1C testing that is coming up in a couple of weeks. So we'll see what goes on. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go because we're over 30 minutes, and I'm sorry about that, guys. So, anyways, if you have questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comment section down below. And until next time, I'll talk to you then. Bye, guys.